Welcome to Structuralism in Minutes. Video 3. Roland Barthes, the giant of structuralism. He was known for writing mythologies. What are mythologies? Not your common Roman or Greek mythologies. These mythologies are pseudo-statements, falsehoods, created by society to keep us all in control. Barthes says that myths are created by capitalist rulers of each and every regime. He gives various examples. The first example that he gives in this book is that of wrestling. He compares wrestling to the ancient gladiatorial combats held in the Roman Colosseum. What was the purpose to organize such a spectacle? To display the wealth, power, and dominance of the ruler. Myths stereotype people belonging to communities. Myths promote products in the name of luxury to the poor people. Myths also promote toys to precondition women as housekeepers and men to join the army at the time of the First and Second World War. Just look at this example. Imagine a child playing with a Barbie doll. What does the child do? Combing the hair of the doll, cooking, dressing up the doll, applying cosmetics. Some examples. Well, these are preconditioning strategies to make the female into a housekeeper. Similarly, boys were given toys like helicopters, airplanes, soldiers. All these psychologically changed the mindset of the boy to join the army when he grew up. The history of wine is yet another myth of Roland Barthes. If you look at the history of wine, it has ages of slavery, racism, bloodshed hidden behind it. Inflection or the change of meaning is created by these myths. Myths rob a language of real meanings and substitute artificial realities to them. Myths create meta-language or what we believe as reality. Myths disintegrate our normal culture and substitute another culture that we think are superior to our own. Barthes' Writing Degree 0 is yet another text by Roland Barthes that contributes to literary writings and how they must be. Barthes says that all literary writings must be colorless and transparent, free from all bondage of tropes. What is this transparent or see-through writing? Well, in the previous videos, we saw that metaphor, metonymy, ostronymy must all be used to make literature. But Barthes says that these ornamentations simply create meta-language and make it too difficult for the reader to understand. He supports the scientific language on the other hand. This language is simple, clear of style, colorless, and is not anchored to history. When language is anchored to history, the writer creates his own style. For example, the novel as a form was introduced by the bourgeois. This is full of outmoded ideas and full of tropes which are of no use to the common folk. Imagine a scientific man reading a literary text. Can he understand the different symbols used by a writer? So language, at its best, is free from tropes. Barthes designates Albert Camus' The Stranger as the perfect form of literature. The Pleasures of the Text, yet another influential text by Barthes on the text. There are two types of texts, texte lisible and texte scriptible. If you look at lisible on the one hand, this is the kind of text that gives you pleasure. It contents you, it satisfies you, makes you happy, grants euphoria, but it keeps you within the comfort zone. Does it make you question reality? Does it make you question culture? No. Mises is the figure of pleasure found in this type of reading. On the other hand, if we look at text descriptively, it creates a state of discomfort, loss, it unsettles culture and makes you question history and reality. These descriptively texts attack the structures of language. They use something called as brio. They have the will to give you bliss. The text overflows. The doors of language open. Imagination rushing. The Death of the Author, another text which says that the author's style dies as soon as he puts down his pen. Now, language must not be the stop clause. It must continue. Language is simply using subject and people. Utterances, tropes are all void. The reader is someone without history, biography, or psychology. The reader exists in the future. So if you are an author, you have to write for the future. And as Barthes says, the birth of the reader must be ransomed by the death of the author. He gives an example from Saracen, the text by Honore de Balzac. Now there is a eunuch in this story. No one knows that she or he is the eunuch. The eunuch passes for a woman when we read the story, and even in the eyes of the hero. And later, Balzac fills in the eunuch with his ideas of a woman. And later, we believe that this is real femininity, or is it universal wisdom, or do we question the writer and his intensity? Thank you for watching this video on Roland Barthes. The next is on Strauss's structural anthropology.